Somebody save me from myself. I spent so long living in hell. They say my lifestyle is bad for my health. It's the only thing that seems to help. All of this drinking and smoking is hopeless, but feel like it's all that I need.
All right, so this is where it all started for me, getting picked on from the beginning. When I look back there, it's difficult because right there, right behind where it says office, that little area is one of the hardest times that I had to go through. The very first time I can think of when I got picked on, which led me to getting in so much trouble. It all started with going back and forth from Mexico here, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it all led me to getting picked on, holding all the emotions inside of me. I remember kids just going around me in circles, laughing at me. And I didn't know what they were saying because I only spoke Spanish. And as I look back right there, I still see me standing right there by that brick wall on this side, by those bushes, looking down, wanting to cry, wanting to go home because I was being picked on because I didn't know how to speak English and I was a chunky little kid and it was hard. I could still see myself right there and it hurts. I went through so many struggles through here. That was just one. I could speak on so many of them. That was just one of the hardest ones for me. Now let's forward a little bit to 6th grade. You know, that's when I started feeling I needed to be different, trying to, you know, wanting to be somebody to be noticed. That's when the movie American Me came out. So I started dressing with the Dickies and the white shirts and the tank tops, and kids weren't doing that over here yet. I was, and they were making fun of me because you could see the tank top under my white shirt, and they were like, hey, you look like you got a bra under it. And, you know, I just couldn't find how to fit in. And those emotions were so deep for me that I couldn't figure out what am I gonna do, where am I gonna fit in. And I couldn't speak to my parents about it because the last time I spoke to them about it, one of the last times I spoke to them about it, all they would say was like, it's okay, you'll get over it. So it was like pointless. So me having to figure out everything myself was one of the hardest things I had to do. But like I say, so many emotions at this school, Heritage School. This is where I first started, from preschool to 6th grade. And now that I think about it, I do remember being in 6th grade. And preschool. And I noticed that when I was here that I got picked on in preschool because I was a chunky little kid. Some kid randomly just came up to me and popped me in my eye. I didn't know how to defend myself. I went crying to my parents, and they told me right there. They just brushed it off and said, you know, get over it. And that was it. So like I said, for me it was very difficult time. Never really had an ordinary elementary school where I can come here and have fun. It was always day in, day out being picked on. And, you know, the emotions are deep for me, you know. It's not something that I can say, let me just brush it off and move on. You know, it hurts inside. And even now, I'm turning 40 this month, and I look back and I still see me right there hurt. And I wish I can go hold that little kid, which is me, from years ago, and be like, everything will be okay, you know. But I'm very passionate about this bullying shit because it bothers me, you know. I made peace with a lot of these people that I see now that were the bulliers. I just let it go. I see them in the streets, I'm just like, you know, But it is what it is. Like I said, it all started here for me. I can still remember riding my bike here. You know, this is the ghetto. You know, this is where I grew up at. You know, this is where you learn if you're gonna be a good boy or a bad boy. You know, and it was one of the hardest things for me. You know, going through here, through the hood. You know, as a little kid trying to figure out if I'm gonna make it home or not. You know, and that's all started from preschool right there. That's where I would come out right there. I remember running out here, telling my parents I got popped in the eye from some kid for no random reason, because I was just a chunky kid, because I was a fat boy. That was the response they gave. Then from right there, you know, the brick wall after that, that's first grade. That's when they told my parents I was going to be held back because I didn't know how to speak English. You know, and then when I came back to school, that's when they said, you know what? He goes, you know, all the kids were looking at me. Everybody that I went to school in first grade, they were up on the last brick over there, wall over there, meaning that's second grade, and I'm standing still first grade. And I'm going, everybody's looking at me, well, aren't you supposed to be over here? And I'm going, my parents didn't prep me. They didn't tell me what I was supposed to say. So I had to live with it and suck it up and get picked on and all the other stuff. So, it just carries on. There's more stories that I can tell you from each wall of being picked on. That goes to fourth grade, third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, and sixth grade is on the other side, on that side. And each grade has a year of me being picked on. It never stops, you know. And I hear stories about my wife going to elementary and how she had fun. My kids saying, I had fun in school. I can't say that. Mine was bad. It was bad. You know, but I learned to live with it. I'm strong now. But I'm doing this video because I want you parents to realize if your kids are telling you something like this, or what they're going through, or just even if a little bit like a kid making fun of your kid, that can lead to something bigger. You just don't know and you don't see it. And I'm telling you guys because I've been through it, you know, and it hurts. You know, it made me choose the life that I live, you know. I'm not saying it's bad, you know, it just made me realize I had to become a very strong-minded and knuckleheaded kid just to make it through here and here in this area, you know. And it is what it is, but I'm just telling you parents, you know, watch your kids, you know, because if they come and tell you something's really going on with them and they're a preschooler or first grader and they're telling you, hey mom or dad, I'm going through some situations here, you know, sit down and talk to them because it's real, you know what I mean? So I'm just letting you guys know, this is why I'm doing this video, taking time out on my day, because I went through the struggles. Looking back, I'm still, like I tell you, I could feel this tension, the aura behind me that still carries on after all these years, 40 years almost. And I feel it. And it's like, you know, I want to have it for the rest of my life. But like I said, this video I'm making is for you parents out there, and watch this video and just read everything I say from my heart. You know, feel it, you know. This is coming from the heart. So we're gonna leave this and we're gonna go to the middle school where I got picked on even more. So, all right. So this part is very embarrassing for me because I don't put it out there like that, but some parents need to hear it. There was 2 times, I don't know, I guess my body didn't know how to react to it. And once in 5th grade and once in 6th grade. My 6th grade class was right here, you know, as you can see. And the 3rd building right here. So, you know, when you're getting picked on, your body, to me, I don't know if it was a shock or what. I didn't know how to handle it. So I ended up, I got nervous and I kind of shut down. I, you know, didn't want to eat right in school, and I didn't want to call my parents, and I urinated myself. You know, it was hard, you know, because I didn't know how to take that. You know, never did that before. I don't know if it was just because I got nervous and kids were around me. I asked the teacher, hey, can I call my parents? I had an accident. Luckily, when that happened in 5th grade, nobody saw. Actually, in 6th grade, nobody saw. 5th grade, it happened. And, there was a couple kids that saw, but the teacher was like, don't make fun of him. And that was it. So, my parents came and got me some clothes, gave it to me. I changed. They didn't ask me why. They just said, here you go. Don't let it happen again. That was it.
So frustrated, walls closing in on me. Feels like the world is on freeze. So cold and feeling empty. All these friends that turned into foes, and the real ones God only knows. When the sun will finally shine on me. Shine on me.
I'm in these fucking walls, music gone, no applause. So where's everybody at? They said they got me, dog. I'm sitting on my desk, contemplate about it all. Does anybody even think about me anymore?
So now we're at the middle school. Now it's called Lodi Middle. Back then when I went to school here, it was called Senior L. That's where the whole city, anybody that was between 7th and 8th grade came here. So as you can see, when I came from 6th grade, I already was getting bullied off and on. And with that said, it just caused nothing but issues. When I came over here, I felt in my heart I was going to carry on. So one of the biggest things I did to stay away, in a sense, from being bullied, I didn't mention in the last video, but I started in 5th grade into band, so I played the saxophone. I love music. That's probably why I do Cholo Challenge so much and dancing and all that stuff. So with that said, I started playing the instrument saxophone. I ended up going through, carried it on to 6th grade, and I got over here, and that was band class right there. So everybody had normal 7 periods, I think, during the day. I had 0 period because I would show up at 6 in the morning so I could do band. It kind of cleared my mind and kept me away from, the bullshit, and I played the instrument. I was so good at it. It was one of my passion things. I loved it. And so I would come here, play my instrument right before school started for anybody else. I have memories in here because I was trying to fit in with everybody else. Back then, everybody was trying to sport the Pumas, the Adidas, the Chucks, and my parents were trying to keep me away from that stuff. So I had a friend or two that would lend me their Adidas, and we weren't the same size, but because I was trying to fit in with some of these assholes, my feet would be like this, scrunched in. I don't know what size. Let's just say trying to fit in a 12 into a size 9. Imagine that. Let's say your foot's gonna be like this. So because I was trying to fit in, my feet were like this. By the time I got home, I switched out my shoes here and then put on whatever shoes my parents got me. And I was swollen from my feet. Just trying to fit in. And now I look back and it's like, what the hell was I thinking? Just because I wanted to fit in or impress a girl. It's like, it wasn't worth it, but this is the only thing I feel like it was good in this school for me, was I went to band class. It got me out of that feeling of being, I don't know, not wanting it around or anything else, but yeah, saxophone, playing it, it was just like that 1 hour of feeling happy. So that was it. I look back and it was like, wow. You see the smile on my face. I still wish I played the saxophone. I know how to play it, but I'm gonna take you guys in a minute to some other areas of this school where it was, for me, it was bad. Like I said, it's hard. My dumb ass forgot my logs because I didn't want you guys to see me get my eyes all watery or whatever. But anyways, so that's that. But yeah, so this to me was Senior L. That's how I remember. Anybody from the town remembers that? That's what it was called back then. But yeah, running the mile out there. I never really ran the mile because I was a big boy, and because I couldn't keep up with all the other kids made fun of me. And now the way I look at it, like if a kid made fun of me and said that, I brushed it off or didn't give a fuck or be like, fuck you. But back then I was a little fat kid, they didn't want to get in trouble because my parents told me, you start any shit, whether you start or not, and you keep it going, he goes, when you get home, anybody that has a Mexican family, you know, you're going to get in trouble. So I was scared of going home to my parents and, you know, getting la regañada, you know, and I didn't want to hear that. So, there was just, that grass has so many stories I can remember that was just being picked on, left and right. It didn't matter if I was in the classroom or I was in PE, I was getting picked on. You know, that's why I tell you guys, I tell you parents, if your kids come to you for something like telling you, hey, I'm going through it, listen to them. You know, I get mad because my parents didn't listen to me, and I'll be straight up, you know, and it bothers me, you know. And I think that's why the anger still lingers inside me in a sense. But, you know, it's not about me anymore. It's about me giving this advice to you parents out there. Listen to your kids, you know, because if you don't, you're going to be paying the consequences later on. My parents did. They paid the consequences. I got into so much trouble. As I got older, the chingazos, going to prison and all that other stuff. That's why I'm doing this video. Now I'm going to take you guys to the other side of the building so you guys can see of another little situation that went all bad for me.
What are you remembering?
Remembering trying to fit in with a bunch of motherfuckers that weren't even friends, you know, just being there and trying to fit in with them. And then it's like, just because I was always trying to impress the girls that were around, and like, you know, but the girls didn't, you know, they weren't even following me because I was too chunky or whatever. And, you know, it just, I look back and I remember, like, for me personally, I wouldn't even, that's a lunchroom right behind the band room right here. I never walked in there once. Nah, never walked in there. The only time I had an ID, you swiped it, and I had free lunch. The 2 years that I was here, I never went in there to got lunch because I didn't like being around all these people, these kids looking at me. Didn't know if I was gonna get some kind of bread thrown at me or anything, and I didn't want to feel that all eyes were on me. So I never walked in there. So I starved myself during lunch. Sometimes other kids that I hung around with, you know, they would feel bad and they would give me half their sandwich. I'm not saying I was broke, but I chose for me not to bring a lunch to school because music was more important to me, you know. And me being a little fat kid, I ate more than usual. So of course I didn't want my mom to stack me up 3 sandwiches. Everybody like, God damn, you know. So that's why I didn't eat at school or brought a lunch to school. So I can remember standing right there and the kid gave me a sandwich. He felt bad. Back then I took it, you know. Now I look at it like, what the hell was I thinking? I should have brought my lunch. Who gives a fuck what anybody thought? You know, yeah, I'm a grown-ass man, but it just, I look back at a lot of things that happened in the school and it pisses me off, you know. It just trying to fit in with the wrong crowds, to the skaters, to hanging out with this crowd or that crowd, or, you know, it just, I didn't fit in. And at that time, I didn't fit in with no crowd. So I just kind of stayed solo bolo by myself. And it just got to the point where it was like, I couldn't hang around with any sides, white boy, Mexicans, or anything, Asians, because I didn't fit in. I tried to fit in, I wouldn't fit in. So I just kind of stuck it to myself, all by myself. 1 or 2 friends, and that's it. And even with them that I knew, I never hung around with them. You know, just kind of like, oh, you see me on the grass over here by a tree, and just talk to them. That basketball court, if I'm correct, yeah, I never really went out that far. The only time I even went out in the grass is when we had to run the mile in school. You know, that was it. But these buildings weren't here when I was here. That was all grass. But I remember there was a tree over there on that side, and that's where, you know, I wouldn't even go over there because you had your little crowd over there. Anywhere there was a crowd, I try to stay away from the crowds, because it was like those crowds always found a way to, they size you up and to make fun of you so they can press some hood rat, that probably has 10 kids nowadays. But back then I didn't think like that. I just wanted to be accepted and wanting the girls to like me, but that wasn't happening here. So. But yeah, so just a lot of anger when I see this place right here. So, like I said, a lot of my friends had a good time here at school. I didn't. So now I'm gonna take you to the other side. All right, guys. So now we're on the other side of the school, and this ain't to drag it on or to give you like, oh, poor baby. I'm just telling you guys, like I said, what I've been through. It just made me into a stronger ass person, and I do this video so you parents can see out there to be there for your kids, and you kids out there are getting bullied, stand up for yourselves. I'm not saying go throw blows, but sometimes shit got to happen like that. Had I known the way shit was gonna turn out to me, I would have been throwing blows. But back then I was scared. But it is what it is. That's probably why I had to go through this, so I could show you guys how to handle it now. So basically, that quad right there, that was a school I went to. That's where all the lockers used to be back in the day. And the 2 years that I was here, I never went to my locker just because I was so scared to walk through the halls and bump into anybody. And sure enough, the first time I walked through that quad, I bumped into somebody, and there were so many people around. He was like, "Watch where you're walking, fat boy." He added more to it. I didn't say nothing. I put my head down. I was scared. All I could think about, like, man, parents are gonna get mad at me if I fight. And I was still trying to prove to my parents I'll make it through school. And I was like, damn, I just carried on. So I was like, okay, so I put my head between, like down, and that was it. And it bothered me. And I was like, God damn, I don't like it here. But what are you gonna do? And so this is where it gets deeper for me. So that classroom right there next to the bathroom, I can't remember if that was English class or science class or what it was. No, it was English class, I remember now. So that class right there, I remember being in there, and I was grabbing a piece of paper out of some cubby, and I remember, like I said, you're in middle school, you want girls to like you and this and that. I remember a female coming up to me, and I thought she was just saying hi, and I remember kids laughing, but I thought they were just bullshitting, laughing in the back. And then I didn't know that I had something behind my back. I just, whatever. Next time she walks up to me, within a couple seconds, I remember just, feeling these things. Shit like this. Just being picked on, and I went, ah. I was like, what the fuck? And I was like, oh shit. Thinking that a girl may like me, but hey, it doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. If they're gonna bully you, they're gonna bully you. That's what I'm saying. Because the way I carried myself, trying to keep to myself, it got me into more harm's way. I was just being picked on. I had a sign behind my back. I can't remember what it said. I want to say it said lame or something like that, or kick me or something like that. But that's because I was just a little fat little kid, or I should say bubble-lumptuous, I should say, now the way I look at it. And they didn't have nobody to defend me, or I didn't know how to defend myself. And because I didn't speak up for myself or throw chingazos back then, I was getting shit like this done to me. Don't get me wrong, the mentality I have now, it had it been back then, oh, it would have been all bad. I would have probably been doing a lot of time. But like I said, this occurred here, these little issues, it pisses me off. But, I'm just, like I said, I'm doing this because I want the parents and other kids, if this shit's happening to you guys, you need to fucking step up your game and do what you gotta do. you know, and but it's sad because I had to go through that. I remember it was on this side, but it is what it is. Like I said, it's sad, and I don't even like coming through this street because I remember of certain things that happened to me. All it is was bullying, getting picked on left and right, walking, and if I had to walk to the quad, I would be late to class just because I didn't want to be there when all the kids were walking through there, because I was like a walking target, you know, because I didn't speak up for myself because I was a voluptuous kid, you know, just, you know, because I was always like this, you know. It is what it is, you know. What can I say, you know? Just it saddens me, but it is what it is. That's all I can say. So now we're gonna move on to the high school I went to, and you know, let the past be the past with this place. All right, guys. So I'm here at the high school that I went to, that I actually graduated from. Surprisingly, but so this is where, for me, I started a little bit changing. But at the beginning, the first couple months of freshman year, I knew coming into here, I was telling myself, I went through it when I was in 6th grade. I went through it when I was in middle school over there. You know, I know I'm gonna go through it here. So I was not saying I was prepared, but I was just like accepting it. And because I was bottling it up, it was not good for me, but I didn't know how to deal with it. Just keep in mind, I did band school here too. I was in the marching band. And what's wrong with that? So imagine a cholo over there doing band. I didn't give a fuck. That was me. That's what I love to do. So, like I said, I went to band here. It kept me happy. At the same time, you know, kids are sizing you up here in high school. And it took a little bit of time, a couple times where I remember, you know, they look at me, whatever, and it was getting to the point where it was just like, fuck, you know, walking through here, it was, how can I put it to you? Nerve-wracking. The situations where, I mean, shit. I remember chilling right here in the corner, trying to stay away from people, and you know, and around here it's like there's too many kids. So one thing led to another. You know, kids they wouldn't really say too much, you know, but they were the little faces here and there, you know. And finally one day I just, from balling that up, and imagine that a Fanta. What happens when you shake that Fanta? At the top it just starts fizzling. And you open it, what happened? I snapped. All that from being a kid, I started snapping, boom. And I remember, you know, somebody said something stupid. And, you know, the good thing it didn't lead to chingazos, but that kid, he was older, and he kind of went, like, whoa, this little freshman's starting to stand up for himself. Then that's when I felt a little confident, like, oh, this is all I gotta do. I know it ain't the right way of doing things, but I didn't know what else to do. Nobody helped me out. Nobody was there for me, you know. I didn't have, you know, a girlfriend that I could lean on because girls didn't like me because I was a fat boy. And I didn't have true friends yet because the friends that I was socializing with, you know, or whatever I had friends, they were already having their girlfriends. It was all about themselves. So I was all solo bolo here again. So, like I said, it just boiled to that point where I just had to say something back. I can't remember what I said, but I remember they were like, whoa. And I remember throwing my JanSport down. Remember those JanSports? Threw it down, and I said, what? And the person hesitated. Like, he wasn't expecting that out of me, and I remember that person just walked away. The confidence kicked in, started talking, you know, not hanging around with the wrong people, just trying to get along with everybody. I kind of started figuring things out here in high school, you know, and I just felt that one time I snapped, and it just made me feel like I was on top of the world, where I was getting more confident, hanging around people, and just started talking to girls, and little by little I started losing the weight, and right before the end of freshman year, I was a whole different kid. That's where, I started becoming a little knucklehead, getting into so much bullshit around here, fighting, shit. It was to the point where my parents weren't here to, for awards. They were here to pick me up right here in this parking lot, because I would get suspended and fights. Come and pick up your son, Miss Juarez, Mr. Juarez. Just into that environment, because I felt my way of handling my shit now was let's throw chingazos, which is not the right way. I'm just telling you kids out there, find another way. Don't go to violence. But it became to that point in my life. I haven't stood here in this area, right? Man, I have a picture standing with some buddies right there, and it's weird, because I remember just there were some good times. I got to meet some homies here and there and chilling and whatever, but man, it's weird, because the last times I remember, I was getting walked out of there with my parents yelling at me for fighting, throwing chingazos, and somehow, magically, I graduated. I'm not one of those cholos that didn't graduate and got a GED. I actually graduated from high school, and I got to walk. How many cholos got to say that? I'm a smart motherfucker, but it's the poor choices I made in my life that I could have been somebody. I always had in the back of my head, I always wanted to be a lawyer, and I let my I told my grandparents in Mexico before they passed, yeah, one day I'm gonna be a lawyer, because I always like to argue. And I was a kid when they passed away, but as a kid I would always tell them, they would say, oh, vas a ser un abogado, mijo, nomás te la pasas alegando. And so I thought I would be a lawyer, but it didn't go that way, but it is what it is, so I just hope they're looking down on me, and let them down. But hey, it is what it is, Like I said, I didn't go through an easy life here. Everybody's like, oh, this is just a small town. You don't know where I come from or what I've been through. You guys are just watching a tab of what I've been through in my life. Just a tab. But like I said, I'm grateful that I am where I'm at now, so I can share my story of the crazy shit that I went through. So that's it. In that hallway right there, the day before, the night before, I barely told my parents, hey, I'm gonna be a dad. And I was a senior. So I came to school fucked up in the head, because it's kind of hard. You're telling your parents at a young age you're gonna be a dad, and I still didn't graduate yet. Came to school, wasn't in the right mindset. Somebody bumped into me, and we started throwing chingazos. And principal tells my parents, well, we don't know if he's gonna graduate, even after all the hard work I put in. And then somehow I had enough credits and I graduated. Thank goodness to summer school, but I made it. But that's what I'm saying. I became a dad at a young age, and this school, shit. it added up. This one, it was more kind of like this, roller coaster ups and downs. You know, I was more fitting in, but just acting stupid, coming drinking to school. Just so I could, please other people. Like, oh, he's cool, he's drinking with us. Like, fuck that. I should have thought the right mindset. But you're in high school, what do you expect? But it is what it is. Like I said, I learned from my mistakes. I'm on top of my kids now, so they know better, But I look and I see, wow, I actually made it out of high school. Not a GED. No disrespect to the people who have a GED. It's just for me, coming from my family, first generation of our family being over here, I actually graduated. And so I wanted to accomplish that, and I made it. So, like I said, I did start getting picked on when I first started here, but after that it was downhill here with the bottling up of all those years of throwing chingazos, not caring what the teacher said, and all those teachers that were there that were actually helping me. I apologize for being an asshole if you guys ever see this video, because I know some of you teachers do follow me. I'm sorry. I'm a parent now. I understand. And I don't know what else to say, but I'm grateful that I made it this far in life. So that's pretty much it on my part of the things that I went through in school. If I really sat down and go for hours and hours and hours, but just the details of what I kind of told you guys, and hopefully this would help you guys, whether you're getting picked on or you're a parent that brushes it off, don't brush it off. Or a parent that doesn't know how to handle the situation, talk to your kid seriously, no matter what the situation is, because it can get from bad to worse. And in my situation, it got to bad to worse. I know that's not a word, but and it could have got a lot more worse, whatever the hell you want to. What helped? I hate to say it for me, but what helped me straighten my butt out after I became a knucklehead and I blew up, on the world, I guess you could say, is I had to go to prison to realize that, be humble. I humbled myself, blessed, and I'm blessed to, that I'm out here with my family, and that I'm able to give this little bit of a, key factor in my life and share with you guys and tell you guys of what I went through, so you guys can, do what you guys gotta do to better your guys in life. It sucks that I had to go through this, but maybe it was meant for me, so I can help you guys out in any type of way. But that's pretty much it. But it was a hard situation for me growing up. Now some people that know me know a little bit about me, and they're like, damn, I didn't know that much. There's other people that didn't know shit. Now I have family members that don't even know half this I went through this stuff. But when they see this, they're gonna be like, damn. So I just want to let you guys know, there's always a positive way of thinking, and and a positive way out of all this drama. So that's pretty much it.
It's the only peace I've ever found. All of this drinking and smoking is hopeless, but feel like it's all that I need. Something inside of me's broken. I hold on to anything that sets me free. I'm a lost cause. Baby, don't waste your time on me. I'm so damaged beyond repair. Life Life has shattered my hopes and my dreams. I'm a lost cause. Baby, don't waste your time on me. I'm so damaged beyond repair. Life has shattered my hopes and my